Hello students, and welcome back to Hexxit Education. This is lesson number 22, and this is the second lesson in our three-part arc on the Harken Scythe mod. And today we're going to be talking about souls and living metal and these scythes. Now, I should preface this by saying this is not just going to be about the scythes from Harken Scythe. We're also going to talk very briefly about the scythes from Tinker's Construct. And to that end, I brought with us a copy of Materials in You for reference. So without further ado, let's dive into this lesson on souls and living metal. So essentially, it works on the same mechanic as our previous episode, which was about blood, except it deals with souls. The main difference is that while when you kill a mob with a glaive, or with one of the augments we talked about, it has a chance to drop more than one blood splatter of large enough size that you can put it into a blood keeper or a blood vessel. However, with souls, each mob only has one soul, so it's pretty much a 1-for-1 ratio. I will, however, preface that because of the version that Hexxit is using, soul collection can be a little bit buggy. So I recommend you do it in wide open spaces. I'm hoping you won't have trouble doing it in this much of an enclosed space, but you may have to bring some blocks with you and move up and down, try and get the right angle in order to harvest the soul, which I will now demonstrate. So starting off with Harken Scythe, with soul collection, how do you begin? Well, you begin similar to blood. You use ender pearls to make an essence keeper, and once you put souls into essence keeper, it becomes a soul keeper or a soul vessel. And how you harvest them? You harvest them using scythes. Now, these are the Harken Scythe scythes. But before we just talk about that, I want to talk very briefly about the Tinker's Construct scythes. Now they're not really weapons per se. They're first and foremost farming tools that can also be used as weapons, similar to the way that the mattock can be used. Here we go, scythe. Yeah, it's primarily it can attack mobs in a 3x3 area and also harvest in a 3x3 area. It's used. It's a relatively advanced tool. You need a tool forge in order to manufacture it. However, I find it's really not worth making unless you're really into the whole scythe look, which you can just easily get using the Harken Scythe side, which is actually more useful, I find, in Hexxit, as we'll see in our next episode. But I find that all you really need is a sickle. You just take a diamond with 3 diamonds and a stick, and you get a 5-block radius of harvesting. I mean, how often are you going to have vertical harvesting? Well, I guess you could if you want to do cacti, but even so. So I recommend the scythe. You can kind of do without it. Just get yourself a sickle, and you'll be in good shape. So the Harken Scythe scythes function very much like the glaives for blood, in that what you have to do is first get your mob close to you. Come on. And I'll give him the food. So select the scythe, draw back, pull back to its full extent, otherwise it won't work. Hit target and let go. Now see, it only dealt 6 damage because it's a piece of wood, but try it again. There it is. That is a soul. Just grab the leather. And you can see it partially formed inside the block here, but it shouldn't be too hard to guess. But occasionally it does cause problems if you get it too close to other blocks. So all you have to do with this is put your cursor on the soul and right click. With a essence vessel, you now have 1 soul. Wasn't too difficult. And what you do with that is just click to put it into one of these. These are very similar to, as we talked about in the with the blood mechanic. This is an altar of souls, and you make that by, instead of using netherrack, you use obsidian, 2 ender pearls, and a book of shadows, which is made with a full soul keeper with gold feather and book, very similar to the Book of Carnage, which you use to make the altar of blood. and then you make 2 crucibles, soul crucibles that is, with obsidian and enderpearl, similar to the blood crucible. And these have to be within 2 blocks of the altar, in order to function. Okay, so now that you have your altar of souls, what do you do with it? Well, the first thing you'll probably want to do, if you want to again employ this route, is take some iron and put it in there to make living metal. And living metal is very similar to biomass, so it's much easier to get your hands on. And what it will do is, as you collect souls, not use the souls, but collect them, it will repair the durability of any items you have in your inventory. Not the most useful thing in the world exactly, but it is the material for this mechanic. The other thing that you can do with an altar of souls, and this is actually much more, I find it's much more user friendly than with the altar of blood, is you can actually access all of the soul augments through the altar of souls. You don't have to go through the enchanting table in order for this to work. So put a weapon in here, augment, and you get soul steel. And what soul steel does is up to 3 ranks. It increases chance for mobs killed with this weapon. It increases the chance for killed mobs to drop souls. If you have this, I believe it's in your hotbar. Every inventory only accounts, but I think if you have this in your hotbar, it should function. You may have to actually kill things with this, but it's not the end of the world. So this is actually very useful if you want to put this on, for example, a diamond giant sword. Very, very useful thing, because as cool as the sides look, they're not really that useful. Let's go, you happen to be going up against one of the mobs that comes in through Harken Scythe. I think they're called Reapers, but I could be wrong about that. And that's the reason you'd want to carry a scythe with you. But in general, if you have a weapon with soul steel, you're in good shape in that regard. Next, if you put armor into here, and you augment it, you get vitality. What vitality does is it has 4 ranks. It gives you a 5, 10, 15, and 20% chance for received damage to hit your hunger bar instead of your health bar. So essentially, it sort of extends your health. And it's a pretty useful thing. If you combine that with a large supply of food, you'll probably be in pretty good shape. On the other hand, if you're down on health, it may not be the best thing that your chest plate is actually hurting your hunger and health and hurting your health regeneration. And I'm back. Sorry about that. I find that you need a lot of souls in order to augment these, so I'm just spawning in soul vessels, make it go a little bit faster. Next up, if you take a bow, and I believe this only works on vanilla bows, you can augment that to give it afterlife. And in this case, I got afterlife 3. That's pretty good, pretty lucky in this regard. I should add the afterlife, and the ranks that you can get on an item are randomized when you use the altar of souls. They're more specific when you use the enchanting table, but then you have to use levels instead of souls. So I guess that kind of makes sense to get a more precise result. Sorry about that. I had to double check my findings here. Okay, so this is unusual actually, because I had thought that afterlife was a blood augment. So I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. Let me try another couple of bows, see what happens. Just gonna refill this thing. There we go. Okay, so this is the soul augment I was looking for on a bow. I'm not sure how I got afterlife, but I guess that was just a bit of luck. But I got blight. And what blight does is it causes the wither effect. Now this is a very useful little thing to add onto a bow, especially in the early game, because anything that's too difficult for you to fight, like infernal mobs, this will cut them down to size. So if you haven't been able to get a ledgier bow or a diamond bow, one of the more advanced bows, just get a regular bow, and get some souls, see if you can get blight on it. You can definitely hit them down to size pretty quickly with that. Okay, next, I chose to actually use a living metal shield for this. You put a shield in here, and I believe this works with any shield that happens to be using living metal. Out of souls. The error out of souls. Put the shield in there. Augment. and I have Ward 1. Okay, what Ward does is gives you a 10% chance per rank on a successful guard to gain an extra Vanguard charge. So if you remember from our episode on Asgard Shields, the charge on the bottom there will basically, as you use it, as you guard with this more often, it will recharge your Vanguard more quickly. So that's somewhat useful. Okay, and last up, I'm just going to talk very briefly about Decapitate. But I need some more souls. Okay, and I'm back. So, as you can tell, I've used up quite a few Essence Vessels and quite a few axes, and I have yet to get what I was looking for. So I'm not sure what's going on here. My information might be incorrect. So I'm just going to go back to our enchanting table, if I'm not stuck in the door here, and show you briefly that you can, in fact, enchant a weapon or even an axe, but that doesn't have to be an axe in this case, with Decapitate, which is... Okay, sorry about that, students. After much experimentation, the only thing I've found that now enables you to get Decapitate for some strange reason is to put a scythe into your enchanting table and add Decapitate this way, which is very strange because this one should be accessible through the Altar of Souls. So I honestly don't know what's going on in this case, but this is one way of getting Decapitate. But as we talked about in our episode on the cleaver and the hammer, which included our extensive talk about the various head generating mechanics in Hexxit, what Decapitate does is it gives you up to 3 ranks, so a 33, 66, or 99% chance of creation of a mob head if you're using it on hostile or neutral mobs from vanilla. And this is not the same thing as looting. It's actually similar. So I believe you might be able to put... No, I couldn't. I can't put... Oh, well. Yeah, so you could actually put looting 3 and Decapitate onto a scythe and use it to use 2 different methodologies to gain heads. So that could work. Okay, I have to admit something here. I think I have a soul drinking problem. Yeah, this is how much I went through trying to get this stuff to work. So I'm just going to conclude with one last thing on this, which is Soul Weave Cloth, and we're talking about this mostly in our episode on armor, but I did want to show you this, which is the Soul Weave armor set. And what this does is, I think it looks kind of cool. It's like a mage armor. What this does is very similar to the blood armor in that it allows you to drink souls and gain increased abilities. So first, let me show you what happens without armor. So I just took 4, and all I got was, okay, I got hunger and instant health. So health regen. So not too bad for what it was. But watch what happens when I use the full Soul Weave set. It gives me strength for almost 2 full minutes, as well as a little bit of hunger. So not bad, not too bad at all. But again, if you look down at my bar here, the armor quality is very limited. So I would not recommend using this in general. But it is a mechanic that's available in Hexxit. Okay, so yep, we've come to the end of our lesson on souls and living metal, as well as on the scythe from Harken Scythe and Tinker's Construct. Our next episode, we're talking about the various tools and weapons that are available through Harken Scythe, and I guarantee you'll not want to miss this one. You'll get some very useful stuff out of it, including, if you look behind me right now, you see that armor stand right there? That's actually not empty. There's armor on that. So we'll talk about that in the next episode. This has been Kankadea for Hexxit Education, and class dismissed.